The Chicago Bears are currently in the NFL playoff hunt and own the number one overall pick thanks to Ryan Poles' long-term planning and knowing that the Carolina Panthers would suck this year. The number one overall pick is safe by 2 games at the moment with only 4 weeks left. And Chicago, sitting at 5-8 and 3-1 in their last 4 games, are showing massive improvement across the roster and still also own the number 6 overall pick. So the Bears are winning after a better record than last year for sure, and they still have 2 top 6 picks. And yes, I do not want a quarterback in the upcoming draft. I think the Bears are much farther along keeping Justin Fields as he is progressing like crazy too, and the team is in a great position from a roster perspective. And with that, I am trading away the number 1 overall pick for an absolute haul in this upcoming draft. And don't worry guys, I could still get Marvin Harrison Jr. I did a trade last week with Max Crosby and the Raiders, and after their massive win this past Thursday night during week 15 over the Chargers, they sit at number 10 now, which I'd need a bigger haul from them in order to even consider trading that number 1 overall pick. And I don't think I'm ready to go to number 10 in the draft just yet. But this week I got another one, and Chicago wins big and still keeps it within the top 6. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Today I am hitting on the Chicago Bears current draft stock situation, what I would do if I'm Ryan Poles. And to be frank with you guys, the major areas of need for this team is defensive tackle, 1 more edge, 1 more wide receiver, and a center. And besides Marvin Harrison Jr. being that wide receiver, none of those positions are worth the number 1 overall pick. So I am trading the number 1 overall pick. And if you would too, make sure you smash that like button for the right price, of course. And make sure that you also put your thoughts in the comment section below about this proposed trade, or just a bear down if you're excited for this Sunday's game. So I'm sticking with keeping number 6, which is owned by Chicago, and trading away the number 1 overall that we own from Carolina. I am trading with the Washington Commanders because they are likely cleaning house after this year. Eric Bieniemy, the Washington offensive coordinator, is also probably going to be a head coach somewhere. New front office likely coming in, new head coach likely coming in, new offensive coordinator likely coming in. And that means that Washington is going to want to build their team around a quarterback. And they're going to want to move up to make sure they get the best guy possible, because a lot of other teams are looking for a quarterback as well. Washington currently sits at the number 4 overall pick, along with having the number 36 overall pick, and I am a big fan of that. I don't see the Commanders winning many more games this year. I hope that they do win this week though, because it does help the Bears playoff percentages, but other than that, they're not going to win much. So this is a team to keep a very close eye on. And they do have some young vets that I want to bring to Chicago in this trade for the number 1 overall to help take cap off their books and help make our defense unstoppable. So I'm sending the number 1 overall pick along with a 2025 4th rounder, but hang on. Hear what I'm getting in return. I'm getting the number 4 overall pick, along with the number 36 overall pick, helping Chicago get that 2nd rounder back that they sent to Washington, ironically, for Montez Sweat, a 2025 1st rounder, and 2-time Pro Bowler defensive tackle Jonathan Allen. So I'm getting a haul from the team right now. And I am addressing that need at defensive tackle in Jonathan Allen. Before I get into Allen, a few of you guys might be going, why not Payne? He's 2 years younger. Payne went from 11.5 sacks last year to only 2 sacks this year. And he got those 2 sacks during the time that Montez Sweat and Chase Young were on the edges. He's on pace to still have 60 total tackles this year if he keeps it up, but his quarterback hits, his tackle for loss, and sacks are all way down. Major vibes that he got the bag and stopped playing football. So overall, again, why Washington and why Jonathan Allen? With the rebuild next year, they're already not going to be good. On top of it, they're in a very tough division in the NFC East. You're going to have at least 4 losses in the division next year. You have a rookie quarterback who's going to make mistakes. That's another 3 to 4 losses. So you're already looking at 7 to 8 losses, and that's before other losses that are going to be factored in. So that's a top 10 pick next draft as well, leaving Chicago to again have 2 first rounders in 2025, potentially one of them being a top 10 pick. We all know that the Bears pick is probably going to be 32 because they're going to win the Super Bowl, obviously. But can you imagine if Washington absolutely stinks and we get the number 1 overall pick again in 2025? That's 3 years in a row having 2 first rounders, along with having the 1st overall pick 3 years in a row. And that works out because let's say Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't announce for the draft this upcoming year. and he stays in college, we can get him in 2025, allowing us to get a wide receiver this year and then get Marvin Harrison next year. So then you have DJ Moore, a wide receiver, whoever we draft this year, and Marvin Harrison Jr. And still this year, I have number 4 and number 6, along with a second-round pick. And hell, let's just have some fun. I'm going to trade the number 6 back again. So I still have 2 first-rounders in 2024. I'm going to get another second at least for a first and a second to move up with whoever. So then I have 2 second rounders. And back to Allen, he got paid and didn't fall off. 40 total tackles, 5.5 sacks, 15 quarterback hits, 9 tackles for loss, and 1 pass deflection in 2024. So let's all regroup that now. I have 2 firsts in 2024, both with them being in the top 10. I have an early second for sure. I have 2 first rounders in 2025, and I have a premier defensive tackle in Jonathan Allen now, so I don't need to worry about trading or drafting somebody for that position. Share your thoughts in this video, and as always, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Dick Brody, and as always, bear down, baby.